What's up, everybody? Week 9 is upon us. Excuse me. Time to talk a little NFL DFS. I'm going to rep some Packers gear today. Obviously, it's been an interesting week over here from that perspective, and we'll see what happens. Sorry on behalf of my team for everybody who was looking forward to Rodgers versus Mahomes. You guys know I'm a staunch Aaron Rodgers defender. I don't like the look this week one slight little bit, so I'll leave it at that, and we'll kind of move on and start talking NFL DFS. And I do have a Packer player I want to talk about on today's show. So click that thumbs up button. Let's dive right in. I wish y'all the best of luck this week, whether we're talking fantasy football year long, DFS, drafters, sports betting, you name it. I hope it all goes well for you guys. All right, so I'm going to run a little sale today, and I'm going to start by saying use this one by paying manually. And what I mean by that is by using PayPal, use this email address. It's down in the link below as well. $59 for the rest of the NFL season. You get the NFL only stuff that comes all the showdowns, everything like that. Rest of the season, playoffs included, only $59. Use this email address, get registered, and it's all you for the rest of the season for the NFL package. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. Let's talk quarterbacks. I'm taking a look at Lamar Jackson specifically for cash games this week, as he's supposed to be one of the chalky quarterbacks on this slate. My biggest thing that I like right here is you have a Ravens team coming in extra motivated right now. Home team, taking out a Minnesota defense that's no slouch, but I still like Lamar Jackson right here. I like good teams and good coaches off of bye weeks, coming off bad losses. I do think you're going to see the best of the Ravens right here. I think Lamar has got a lot of upside for this price tag. He's got a high floor because of his ability to pass the ball and run the ball. A lot to like about Lamar Jackson right here, who will come in as one of the chalkier quarterbacks on the slate. So cash lock might be a bit aggressive, but if I was making a cash lineup right now, he'd be the guy. Speaking of guys that would be in my cash lineup right now, check out cover board for the week, Austin Ekeler. He's coming in right now is the chalky RB1. It makes a lot of sense. You got a Chargers team right now. Desperate might be aggressive, but in dire need of a dub. Taking on a not very good Philadelphia Eagles team. I think of this as a good matchup. Ekeler is viable in any game script, right? Because he is very good in the passing game and very good in the running game. So no matter how this game breaks down, close or uncompetitive in either direction, he's still involved in the game script. Barring major blowouts, it's probably not the situation that's going to happen right here. You got a Chargers team desperate for a win. If you don't like the West Coast to East Coast thing, so be it. That's fine. I understand. I'm not overly concerned about it personally, but I know that's a thing for some people. It's a good matchup. He's going to be popular. He is a cash game lock for me. He is definitely going to make my cash games. So let's talk about A.J. Dillon. And I'm going to start by saying this is a deep GPP sleeper. If you're running a cash game, or even if you just do one big money tournament, play per weekend, this is probably not the right play for you. I think there's better plays at running back for those of you who run a limited number of lineups. Now, for those of you guys who run a lot of lineups or play the Millionaire Maker and are looking to really change things around, I like the idea of A.J. Dillon this weekend. First and foremost, he's good. I think from just a running perspective, he's one of the, better 20 running backs in the league, maybe higher than that. His blocking and pass catching aren't perfect, but if he wasn't behind Aaron Jones, I think he would be the starting running back. I'm probably half the teams out there. Is he as good as Nick Chubb? No, he's not as good as Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, guys like that, but he's a good running back. So you're not just pulling some second string scrub right here. He just happens to be behind Aaron Jones, who is a really good running back. The big question on this weekend is who is Jordan Love? And I think that is kind of potentially a blessing in disguise for the Packers, but also at the very least, an interesting chemistry type of experiment to see what's going to happen in this one. But what I like is Matt LaFleur can coach. You saw it last week when they took on Arizona. Very unique game plan. Loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought he did a great job. Matt LaFleur, part of the reason you've seen Aaron Rodgers reach a much more successful point in his career the last couple of seasons than where he'd been before is Mike McCarthy's a terrible head coach. Matt LaFleur is really good. He's in a better position. He made life a lot easier than Aaron Rodgers. So I think Coach LaFleur will have a really nice game plan for this game. We know the Chiefs' run defense is really, really bad, and I would like to see A.J. Dillon running the rock. I've watched enough Chiefs football this year, so have a lot of you guys, because they're always on prime time. They're always interesting. They're heavily involved in DFS. They can't tackle. A.J. Dillon can break tackles with legs of steel like that. I think that's good. The other thing maybe potentially in play here, and this might be a little bit of a long shot or a desperation call or something like that. They failed to score last week. If you guys watched the Thursday night game against Arizona, and I've actually been wondering this for a while. You go out and you spend a second-round pick on a bruising running back. I mean, A.J. Dillon is a beast. You don't use him in goal line situations ever. I see watching Aaron Jones get stuffed a couple different times. I think you might have some overcorrection this week, and you might see A.J. Dillon get the occasional goal line carry. At 4,600, 60 yards, a touch, 2 catches for 20, 16 points, you'll take that. So I think he's a deeper GPP call, but I thought it was an interesting one to talk over. Next up, let's talk about Hunter Renfrow. I'm going to give you my DFS take, and then we're going to get real life serious for just 2 seconds. They're down a wide receiver. You guys have seen the news. We'll get into that momentarily. Hunter Renfrow has been widely consistent all season, runs a lot of very replicable patterns outside of the slot. He's now even higher up on the pecking order. The Raiders have been better without Gruden. Decent matchup with the Giants this weekend. Get up spot for the Raiders potentially if you view it that way. I like Hunter Renfrow in any format. I just think he's a nice, fairly priced sub 5K wide receiver that you can kind of rely on for, hopefully, a floor of 9 and a ceiling of 22 DK points in this situation. The flip side of this is you guys all know about the rug situation, what happened this week. And so I live in Wisconsin. This is the place where people do a lot of drinking. And, a lot of people around here who got DWIs. And it's not something that should be, it's something that should be taken seriously. And I'm talking to specifically the younger men out there. Look, I was a young guy once. I did not always make the best decisions, right? I just think that's part of being young. And as you grow, you start making wiser decisions. Think about how his life was ruined this week because of a split-second decision to do something what he did. Really, really let that hit you next time you're out at the bar and you're thinking about not taking an Uber or a Lyft and getting in your car. Really, really ponder that. I knew a guy that I played high school baseball with, not a good friend or anything like that, but I knew him. And I ended up being on his softball team again a couple of years ago. And he got drunk at a party, passed out for a couple hours, woke up, got in his car and went home. Ended up killing, I forget if it was 1 or 2 people, did 10 years in prison. Now he speaks at, public high schools and stuff like that about the dangers of drinking and driving. But he told me when we played softball together a few years ago, there's not a night or even an hour that goes by that doesn't cross his mind. So on a serious note, and I don't do this as much as I used to, but I just wanted to bring that up. And I just wanted to give some people out there really something to, don't just brush it off. Really think about it if that's something that you occasionally do. Because again, I've been there. I understand. It's not a decision I make anymore, but I've been young and dumb before. I can completely get why that kind of thing happens. But really, really think about it next time you had a couple drinks. All right, off my soapbox for a second. Next up, let's talk about Adam Thielen, wide receiver of the Minnesota Vikings, taking on the same Baltimore Ravens that we talked about Lamar Jackson for. I love Thielen this week. I think he's a little bit too cheap, in my opinion. He has been a red zone savant the last couple of years. He's got 6 touchdowns already this year, double-digit touchdowns last year. They look for him in the red zone. I also think Baltimore is going to play a great game this weekend. So in my opinion, what's going to happen is I do think the Ravens get up 10, maybe 14 points, and Minnesota gets stuck in a situation where they're throwing the ball a lot. Thielen runs a lot of patterns that are, easily completable. He's a target in the red zone. The Ravens secondary is not good, mostly due to a couple of injuries and things like that. Thielen has had 7+ targets in every game but 1 this year. I like Adam Thielen. What's coming in is relatively low ownership this week. I like him a lot this week, so I'll take him in any format. That's it, guys. That's what I got for this week. Best of luck. Go win yourself some cash, and I will talk to y'all later.